Ah, what perfection! What a beautiful day! Wouldn't you say, Rockington? Oh yeah, he's gone. Guess I shouldn't have taken him for granted. Well, I do believe I've wasted 2 years of my life by now. Guess I'll start acting like Filthy Frank, starting by wanting to kill myself. Into the fridge of water I go. Awesome! Oh boy, am I excited to play this game. I mean, haven't played it in years. Get the shoe off. I just know I'm gonna have a great time with this. I mean, why wouldn't I? Everyone loves Banjo Kazooie after all. So what in the whole wide world would make anyone think any differently of this game? Oh yeah. That. We've all heard this story before, right? Rareware in its golden days being one of the premier game developers of its time? A whole lucky generation of children set to explore the fresh and newfound wonders that video games had to offer. And boy, did Rare have a lot to offer in ways profound. Which, honestly, would have been great for me, had I personally experienced them. I was, unfortunately, huddled in with the group that never had the chance to play these fantastic games. So instead of having memories of Banjo, Donkey Kong, and GoldenEye, I had other games to play and experience. And that was just fine. Skip forward to the point where I casually have 22 bucks in my pocket instead of it being a blessing from the gods above. I'm at the local game shop, looking for a new game to waste away my evenings with. I just happened to come across a copy of Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for, literally, $4. So, I buy it, walk it home, pop it in my 360 and just sit there and play it. I had no idea of what came before it, no clue of how Rare was bought out by Microsoft, and not even the slightest inkling of what this game was even supposed to be. I knew nothing. I simply played the game for exactly what it was. And I liked it. A lot, in fact. I remember playing this game all the way through and having a great time with it. I never knew this game was supposed to be bad. It was just a game for me to play. Well, after playing the original Banjo games and hearing all the rightful hatred towards this game, I'm honestly conflicted. So why don't we take a controller, have a seat, and take another look-see at what exactly is Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. As some of you would say, I'd be nuts and not bolts straight for the nearest store, eh? Not funny. Upon starting up the game, you're immediately greeted with this grim reminder of what used to be, delivered by a single banjo and a crude replica of the Rareware logo. Whether for good or bad, this basically sets the tone of what the rest of the game's gonna be. And here it is, Spiral Mountain, and that beautiful jingle. Although things seem a lot larger this time around, and much more lively with the several cars driving about. And once you're inside, you notice that Banjo's arranged all of his furniture into a car. Guys? I'm pretty sure the people saw the front cover. They get it. It's cars now. Now, before I get into a single reason why I think this game has any redeeming qualities, I'd be an absolute fool to not address one of the largest problems this game actually has. Its very own intro. Right from the moment you hit that start button all the way up until you have the option to go into your first world, this game just slaps you in the face at every opportunity it gets. Now, the very beginning isn't so bad. In fact, it's quite exciting. To see that 4:3 ratio and sepia filtered video of memories past, it's awesome. But the moment this handsome voice ceases to speak, Well, let's just say this slope is steep enough that you won't need an engine to roll down it. So, for the sake of saving about 5 minutes of meticulously describing every problem in great detail, let's put it into points to emphasize just how much this game immediately gets wrong in a short amount of time. 1. Seeing your heroes for the first time in 10 years, only to find them doing nothing but stuff their face and sleeping with their Xbox headsets on. 2. The radio reminding them that they're fat, old, and washed up, in case you haven't noticed already. 3. Upon noticing Gruntilda's comeback, Banjo and Kazooie slowly get up to address the problem, but not before taking another quick nap. 4. As soon as you take control of Banjo, you notice that you walk super slow, all your jumps shake the earth, and your stopping animation has Banjo depressingly gasp for air. 5. Finally making it up the hill confronts you with Gruntilda. The two parties exchange poke funs for a brief moment before jumping at each other ready for a tussle, only to be literally paused by red, glowing Comic Sans. 6. A character called Lord of Games appears to verbally insult the game franchise within every moment of him speaking, the big ones being called second-rate game characters, comparing the difference in the amount of games between Banjo and Mario, and presenting you with this mundane, over-exaggerated collect the items challenge, being sure to tip you off how the old Banjo games are outdated, and nobody wants to play them. Yikes! This whole intro sequence is absolutely unbearable, and is sure to put any Banjo fan in a sour mood. And I wouldn't blame them for a second. I mean, if Nintendo decided that after Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door to make the next Paper Mario game to not play like the originals at all, I'd be pretty upset too. What an outrage that'd be. So, once Log over here sets you and Gruntilda up in equally developed cars, he sends you on your way over to Showdown Town, where the competition to see who claims ownership over Spiral Mountain takes place. And you'd think at that point is where you actually start playing the game, and that the suffering is all over. Nope! Build a car tutorial! Great! And I'm guessing this is where many people would draw the line. You've already been insulted repeatedly, and now they're about to shove a slow tutorial down your throat? Meanwhile, you've tragically known all this time that the game you're currently playing is most certainly not the game you played when you were a kid. Anyone in their right Banjo-loving mind would have turned this game off, tied it to a rock, and thrown it into the ocean. I mean, how could anyone find any semblance of enjoyment from this? Now bear with me for a second because I'm about to get into something kind of interesting. What if you never played the original Banjo games to begin with? I know, it seems crazy, but a good few people have never played a classic Banjo game before, and to them, this whole intro sequence wouldn't really be offensive. Not in the slightest. A person who had never played a classic Banjo wouldn't have anything to compare this to. They would think of this whole intro as comical. Maybe this franchise of video games have always been like this. Self-referential and teasing? These things have been made extremely endearing before in other forms of media. A new player wouldn't really think anything of it. They would just read the story, perhaps smile, and just continue on into the first level. There, they would find this incredibly stylized world. They would simply roll up to a character and read their conversation with Banjo and Kazooie. Doing this would put forth that Banjo was a calm, ever-helpful bear, whereas Kazooie was the upfront, in-your-face, insult-throwing bird. They would accept the challenge they were presented with, surpass it, and be rewarded for doing so. Then they might want to have a quick peek around the place. After all, you're given all this space. Why wouldn't you want to observe it? And of course, the worlds don't have jiggies laid about, giving every single area meaning for exploration. This right here is an obvious problem for someone who would expect nothing less. However, going around the world talking to the characters and activating the challenges give the certain parts of the world meaning. Once you've played through the game for a little while, you'll see how nearly everything is there for a reason. It's all for the challenges. These challenges range from different racing types, defending an area, maneuvering cargo, destroying other vehicles, and more, whether it being ground, sea, or air. Now, what really pushes these challenges into being fun are actually the vehicles themselves. Given a mission type, you'll either be presented with one of two options. The game will have you take control of a uniquely built vehicle specific for the challenge, or your creativity will be tested by inventing your very own set of wheels. This, right here, is why this game is fun. As you progress through the game and complete missions, you'll be rewarded additional types of parts to build faster, stronger, and more versatile vehicles. Ways to get these new parts are obtained by either locating crates around Showdown Town, purchasing them with your hard-earned notes, or simply by playing through the game. Sooner than later, you'll accumulate a wide variety of parts, spanning all the way from practical to downright silly. You'll be finding simple body pieces, wheels, engines, wings, propellers, jets, flotation devices, cannons, grabby balls, lasers, and even humorous self-detonation items. There are literally so many fun things you can do with the plethora of parts this game presents you with. So, the further you progress in the game, you'll be tasked with doing more progressively harder tasks, making the equipment you earn, buy, and discover all the more necessary. Beyond that, if you create an exceptional vehicle for the challenge and beat the record for it, you'll be even further rewarded. Your ingenuity to create new vehicles and upgrade previous ones will almost always be tested. Right up to the final point in the game, in fact. There you'll be tasked with creating the ultimate multi-purpose vehicle, ready to tackle several challenges in a row with your very own magnum opus of a vehicle. So, to quickly summarize my personal opinion, this game is a lot of fun. Once you get going, that is. With the big worlds, several ways to traverse them, and the many different game types you can partake in, I found myself eager to get back to playing this game to completion. However, a thought that would easily drift by in idle passing is this. Would this game be more widely enjoyed had it not been a Banjo game? And after some time of thinking about it, I've come up with a sort of dual answer. Both yes and no. No when thinking about it from a gameplay point of view. I think at this game's core is a genuine fun and creative experience that would fill a nice creativity niche. There's lots to do, fun things to build, and plenty of ways to utilize its features. But at the same time, yes, in the sense that it's not a very good Banjo game. Banjo's always been known to be a fun, lighthearted, and easygoing adventure game. This game is not that at all. So allow me to reiterate. I don't think that Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is a good Banjo game. However, I do strongly believe that Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is a great general game. I really do think if people gave this game a more honest and fair chance, they might end up actually liking this game. Sure, it's not the 9 out of 10 built for everybody game, but I certainly think it's fun by itself. However, no matter how much one might like this game with how many different reasons, a very fair point would always hang in the air. We wanted Banjo 3. Where's that? Well, that's probably the hardest part to swallow. Where is 3E? This game most certainly isn't it. If anything, this game feels like a wild spin-off. And with no real solid news from Rare or anyone else, it really seems that the real Banjo 3E isn't really anywhere. However, there's one bright spot in all of this. A small company going by the name of Playtonic is trying to bring back the classic adventure collectathon. With overwhelming support, myself included, they were able to crowdfund the very promising ukulele. Making good use of some of the older guys from Rare and new talent, they're determined to create the spiritual successor to be the Rare rival of this long-awaited game. And judging from the looks of things, I myself am absolutely ecstatic to see what comes of it. And who knows, maybe if ukulele does well enough, it just might give Microsoft and Rare the kick in the ass it needs to finally go forth and make the real Banjo 3E. Maybe. Hopefully. But just maybe. Ah, what a delightful, happy, and fun way to end an episode. Wouldn't you say, cock?
You clipped my wings. I don't know where I am. Re-e-e-e.
Me either. Legitimately. Yeah. Hello there, and thank you so much for watching. You like videos? I got videos right over there. Each video contains at least 29.97 pictures a second. For a 7-minute video, that's at least 12,587.4 pictures. For free, no less. So, see you over there. Bye!